Hey guys, you here, right here, G, welcome back to the original GTA 5 Top 5 Top 10 series, where we're going to be pretty much revisiting all of the categories that we've covered many months ago. Obviously, a lot of things have changed ever since, patches, better understanding of the cars, better understanding of the game, so our opinions would change as well. So obviously this whole series is based solely on opinions and whatnot, but from myself. Of course, you guys can contribute with your opinions in the comment section with your own list of what your top 5 or top 10 would look like. Of course, let me know in the comments below what else you guys want to see to be revisited from the episodes that we've made in the past. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Let's get right into it. If you guys do enjoy this episode, make sure you guys slap that like button and I'll be greatly appreciated. Alright, let's do it. Start at number 5 spot, we have the Turismo. Alright, so Turismo is an interesting car, right? It's got one of the greatest handlings out of all the other supercars. The only downside to it is really low, so it struggles to go over curbs, which makes it unreliable. So because of that, it's really frustrating. But that's not gonna, stop me from putting this in the top 5 spot, because this car is amazing, alright? Literally at high speed, it's taking corners with ease. Don't have to sacrifice any speed whatsoever. If you can control this car and sort of anticipate the curbs and sort of, if you can control everything with this car, then you will dominate with this car in all aspects. Obviously in a racing environment like this, and also just on the streets. You can even sort of power slide, get that drifty feel with this car as well. It's pretty damn awesome when you're going around curbs. As I said, man, you will have the tendency, however, to actually just completely flip if you just screw up. And sometimes you don't even expect it. Like, shit, this car just flies all over the place if you do hit them curbs at awkward angles. Say you're going up a little slope or a little ramp and, because the bumper in the front is just so damn low, it's not gonna get up. It's not basically even here's the good thing about this car, right? When you are actually taking airtime or whatnot, you're not in the air for too long. You literally go straight flat out down again. So if you're racing and you're sort of racing in the track where it consists of little bumps and whatnot on the road, you will actually benefit with this car for acceleration, because as soon as obviously the airtime you take, if it's minimal, then obviously you'll benefit from the acceleration as soon as all 4 tires hit the ground, compared to another car. If another car, for example, like Infernus or whatever, it's got more airtime, you're obviously going to benefit with the Turismo. But anyway, the point is, that was my number 5 spot. For number 4, we have the Infernus, of course. We can't miss out the Infernus. This is a beautiful Pegassi Infernus Lamborghini. And this actually finished number 1 on my previous episode for top 5 supercars, the initial episode that I made many months ago. But now a lot has changed after the information we've gathered. And the reason why this is at number 4 spot, because there's other cars that I feel slightly better than this now. And this is just my opinion, man. As I said, at the end of the day, my thoughts change a lot day-to-day basis the more I drive these cars. And Infernus is still a great car for handling, especially when free roaming, weaving in and out of cars. It's literally the best with this car, in my opinion. I mean, even though the rear is slightly wide, you're probably going to think it's very difficult to weave in between cars and whatnot. But it's actually not. If you get the appropriate camera angle with your right analog stick, you can actually execute so many beautiful things with Infernus. It's just so awesome. Literally, you won't... Like, the feeling of going through cars with this car is special. And it's something where if you take it at full speed as well, it's really awesome. The first clip that you saw with this particular footage, it's pretty damn awesome. Definitely test yourself. That's one of the things I always say to improve your driving is to go against oncoming traffic at full speed, basically weaving in and out, and see how long you'll last. Basically, that's sort of testing your consistency and your concentration levels as well. Anyway, number 3 spot, we have the Cheetah, the Grotti Cheetah, the brother of the Turismo. The 2 Grottis making it into the top 5, which is pretty cool. The reason why this deserved the number 3 spot, simply because it's got that amazing handling, right? Put it this way, it's got a lot of similarities to the Turismo, and the advantage over this against the Turismo is that this actually goes over curbs without any issues, and it's very predictable around the corners, so the handling is very efficient. At the same time, the traction on this is slightly better than the Turismo, and the downforce as well. You don't get that tendency to oversteer like the Turismo when you're going at high speeds. This sticks firmly onto the ground, and it's because it's very predictable and it's very efficient, you're going to get the comfort and you're going to push yourself even more with this car. And it's amazing. Even though the Turismo has got a faster lap time than the Cheetah is still competitive against the other supercars within the category if you know how to use it properly. At the same time, when considering that if another person who's using another supercar that's better than the Cheetah for the fastest lap time, the cheater, if that person is being lazy with those other cars, the cheater can easily dominate. Because the thing with this, when there's tracks consistent of once again, a lot of bumps and whatnot, the cheater will dominate just because how quickly it recovers and goes back onto the ground with its grip. So a similar sort of mechanics to the Turismo. Overall design of the car is similar to the Turismo anyway. But the point is, it's an amazing car, deserved the 3rd spot. But for number 2 spot, we have the Entity. Without a surprise, obviously, without a doubt. This is self-explanatory. I'm sure a lot of you know and knew this was going to be the case. That Entity will always be up there in the top of the list. And, it's crazy now because this obviously is one of the fastest cars in the game for lap times and whatnot. It's a fun car on free roam as well. The respawn time on this particular car is great as well for handling. You can do awesome stunts with it, and the skill required to fully reach its potential with this particular car is not that high as well. So this car attracts any sort of skill level. So a poor driver that's just getting into drive and doesn't know how to drive properly can easily dominate with this car compared to a really good driver that uses the Entity, because the skill gap is not there and it's quite small. So obviously, that being said, this car attracts a lot of people to use it, and that was the case ever since the game came out. People always using this. I mean, heck, I was using this because this car is fucking amazing, because it's such a simple, easy car to use, very predictable, amazing response time. Turning corners at high speeds is what everyone always wants with efficiency. So that's the reason why a lot of people would choose this car, and it is what it is. So it doesn't spin out. Amazing traction downforce around corners, especially now 1.14 patch. Spoilers work, better traction than it already had. So it just makes this car absolutely amazing. And very, very competitive against the other supercars, rather dominant as well. And, it's something that I'm sure a lot of people still stick to these days. I'm not sure, because there's better alternative, of course, I'm sure you guys are aware of now. If you guys have seen the top 20 best lap time for sports and supercars, be sure you check that out. Check out the players for the series, by the way, if you haven't already. But yeah, generally speaking, Entity is a pretty damn awesome car. But yeah, coming at the number 1 spot, we have the Elegy. Oh wait, sorry, what? No, sorry, my bad. We have the Zentorno. This is by far the best supercar in my opinion at this very moment. At first, when this car came out, the High Life DLC, I was doubting it with this particular showcase. I wasn't feeling it. I thought it was going to be pretty poor, but this is one of those cars, as I said time and time again, does require the most skill to actually benefit from the maximum potential available with this car. And that skill level is about understanding how the car works and how it takes every corner and how it responds. It's all about, obviously, taking the best lines, but how to do that properly with this car is something that does take time. And obviously, depending on your skill level, some people, you will get used to it right away, and others will obviously take time. But the more you use this car, the more easier it gets to actually use, I suppose. And also, you'll understand how easy, or it will get pretty much easy to dominate other cars within the category, simply because of its acceleration is absolutely amazing if you pretty much get the revs right. And it benefits from actually hitting against walls and stuff if you get the angle right to get those revs high, to get that superior acceleration which dominates every other car within the superclass category. So yeah, this is the Zentorno. In the racing environment, this does get the fastest lap time from the supercars. I'm sure you guys would know. If you guys haven't seen the episode yet for top 20 fastest supercars and sports cars, then be sure to check it out. There will be a link in the description below for that. And also, if you want to check out my previous top 5 for supercars, then be sure to check that out. And how much has changed from that. My opinions have changed quite a bit, to be honest, because the Adder, for example, was in that particular list on that episode, but now it hasn't even made it for this episode, and it's kind of surprising because I was actually taking into consideration to put it on this list. But it's one of those things after the recent changes to the game and the fact that a lot of other cars now dominate the Adder. At the same time, the Adder is only beneficial for just top speed. Everything else does suck with other factors such as handling and just general feel of the car. Is not that great. It feels way too rigid for me to use for fun, I suppose. And generally speaking, even the racing environment is not the greatest. And to be fair, proper racetracks do not consist of so many straights all the time, which is pretty much the only place where the Adder would benefit the most. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of my top 5 supercars, my personal opinions. Of course, let me know in the comments below what yours would look like. Also, let me know what else you guys want to see for top 5 and top 10 for GTA 5. Thanks for watching, guys. If you guys did enjoy this episode, be sure to drop a like on this video. It would be greatly appreciated. I'll see you guys soon. Check your son. out. Good night, peace. Yeah. Not every day, you know what I mean. Wait,
how?
I was thinking
Wait.
what?
Have you looked at customized ones? That's stupid.
No, they're not custom. They're just colors.
Are we doing blues versus
Dark,
reds?
man,
Watch
do you know
this
what?
video.
Do you know what Shaggy's video, mate?
Oh, you didn't watch
No.
his recent
Oh, you don't watch the tips and tricks.
What is
GTA
it?
Live, gay blade
Selected
commentary.
blue colour on a